This is The Shame of the Father, which is a novel written by our friend Jason Andrew Giechek. The dedication is, it started out as a challenge to write 50,000 words or more within a month's time. The ideas and storylines came as I wrote for some unseen place in a different time. The characters spoke to me as I wrote, and it is their words that are spoken, not mine. I was just an observer into their lives, especially that of Jack. His trip through life includes his loves, his hates, his lusts, and his revenge. His entire life he showed to me in one swoop, and to this I must thank him. I never really thought about trying to publish this as a book, but it seemed to fit for my very first attempt, and therefore here it is in all its glory. I dedicate this book to a few people, especially a good friend, who pushed me in the direction to publish it. In his own words, he called it a good read, but one that made him feel like he should read it in a locked room with the lights dim low for certain parts. Jack's loves can sometimes get pretty steamy. I also dedicate this book to those people who have always told me I had the talent to write, but I never thought so. I have always been my biggest critic when it came to my writing. There are a few folk out there who have been waiting for my first attempt at a novel. I hope I don't disappoint them. So, without any hesitation, on with the show. 4 years, it had been 4 years since he had seen her. Jack stood at the train depot, waiting patiently for the train to come. He heard its whistle before he ever saw it, which made him more nervous than ever. What if she didn't remember him? He thought to himself, she could have changed so much in that time. Hell, he himself had changed so much over that time. He was now a noted businessman in the city and had not one but 2 fine horse teams. He still found himself nervous as the train chugged closer. It was springtime when she had left. The snow had just melted off the highlands. He remembered the day well. She wore that pink dress that made her look a few years older. She always loved that dress. She told him she would never forget him ever. He had smiled, held her hand, kissed her softly, and smelled her sweet perfume. He never forgot that smell. The train pulled into the depot, and with a large hiss, which sounded like an evil snake, it stopped, and from its body emerged her, Mary Jeffrey. She looked just like he had remembered her. He waved to her, and she waved back and ran towards him. Her arms were spread open wide, and she hugged him, not softly or daintily, but tightly, almost hard. She kissed him on the cheek and smiled at him. My, Jack Henry, how you have grown, she said with another smile as she broke from the hug. He smiled too, not really wanting to, but feeling it was coming from him anyway. Been too long, she commented. He snapped the reins and the carriage moved away from the train station onto the busy streets. So, Mary, what have you been up to since you left? Jack said, trying to make conversation. I've been to London and Berlin, studying art and great literature at the finest schools. Father wrote me about your family's loss of your grandfather. I was truly sorry to hear of his departure. Jack's face solemn as his eyes drifted out to the carriage window. Looking out at the street, memory drifting to the night 2 armed robbers at the store the family owned had killed his grandfather. 2 years ago to this day he was shot down in cold blood. A tear began to roll down his cheek, and Mary frowned. I didn't mean to bring up any poor memories. I'm sorry. She smiled, her own eyes turning to look out the window. Not a problem, my dearest and loving cousin. It still pains me. I didn't do anything to stop them. I was there, and I didn't do it. I could have. Mary turned to him. She pulled her hands onto his, held them. You would have been killed as well if you'd tried anything. Father told me you were lucky not to have been shot as well. They didn't see me. I was hiding in the back. Grandfather was there as well, but he went out. He told them to leave, and in that one instance they shot him dead. He began crying, the tears rolling down his cheeks. Mary held his hands even tighter and brought him closer. She put her arms around his shoulders and pulled him even closer. He could smell that perfume, the same perfume she wore when she left. He felt safe there in her arms. He pulled back. His eyes met hers. He felt his lips pressing against hers, his hands moving over her body, pulling her close, and she pulled back. I have missed you, my dearest cousin, she said. I have been away too long. He smiled back, holding her hand in his. The carriage rolled onwards towards the father's estate. He wanted to take her back to his special spot, very deep in the woods, a small cabin nestled amongst the pines. He wished he hadn't told his father he was bringing her to see him as soon as she made it in. Your father still hunt these days, she asked, breaking the silence that had suddenly grown between them. Only when he can pull himself away from the affairs of the business and, of course, the affairs of his loins. They both laughed. What of your mother? Is she well? Well, she is well and is simply writing a play about her travels to Egypt. Oh, so very good. She has been around the world and has a way with the words. Mary clapped her hands and giggled. He wished he hadn't told his father. He would bring her to see him as soon as she made it in. What of the cabin? She inquired, smiling at him, her eyes twinkling. And now, You can buy this book for $14.91. I repeat, $14.91. What else can you buy in this world? And I also wish to say that none of these fictional characters have anything to do with Open Salon. Nice going, Jason.
You want your applause sign? Hold it up a little more. Thank you.